South Carolina obviously presents challenges, and Lorenzo Ward kind of does that rabbit package where they put the 4 defensive ends on the line, and sometimes they'll drop just one safety, isolate guys. Have you taken a look at that and thought about, what a challenge that would be?
They haven't quite been as much rabbit package, as you're saying, as they were a year ago.
Right.
Obviously with Ingram, but they're very talented up front. There's no question about that, and they're playing a lot of man free. Again, that's kind of been the same thing we've said each week. They play their safety extremely deep and try not to let anything get behind him, and try to out physical you on the edge. And they feel like they can play the run with the guys they got up front and man you up. And they've had a lot of success with that this year. I think defensive front wise, this is as good a defensive front as we've seen. Obviously, we all know about Clowney and the caliber of player that he is. Maybe one of the best in the country. But absolutely. I mean, they're doing a few things different than they did last year. But they're still playing their 4 down, and they'll get in some odd and some of their 3rd down package.
What do they do different than, say, Florida State as with their front 4?
Well, it's kind of hard to say. I mean, Florida State, they did a lot more movement. South Carolina hadn't quite moved their guys quite as much. That's what we've seen over the last few weeks. They for the most part, they're still both a base 4 down team. Where Florida State played 2 safeties deep with man underneath it. They're playing 1 safety deep a lot of the time with the extra hat in the box. That's what they're trying to get to, and that's what they want to be. I mean, that's who they are.
Can they do anything special with DJ Swearingen, the safety?
Well, actually, they've moved him all over the field. I mean, he's played corner, he's played nickel Sam, he's played safety. I mean, he's put him all over the field, and the last few games he's played back deep as the deep safety, and kind of let him, just kind of be that guy back there, not letting anything get deep, and kind of letting him flow to the ball.
I know they against Tennessee a couple times they put Clowney down as a tackle. You think
they did? They move him around as well. Obviously they won't put him at defensive end, and that's where his base position is. But they'll put him at nose. They'll put him at tackle. When they go their eye, they'll put him at their nose look. And we've seen him pretty much play all across the front. And then there's times that they'll let him be a stand-up guy. So they do a good job of moving him around and trying to create mismatches with him.
What do you remember about last year's game of Columbia? It seemed like there hasn't been a team that has shut you guys down offensively as much as they did. I think 153 yards in that range.
Yeah. Well, just going back to last year and kind of reflecting back on it as we did a week ago against State and again, this week. I mean, I think that we went down there. We had an opportunity early in the game. Had a drop touchdown, which would have really given us a lot more momentum. We knew going in last year that they were extremely physical up front and very veteran in the secondary at the corners, and I think that's the biggest thing that I remember the most out of it. We had some success running the ball at times, and we had some drops, but. That's about it. I mean, it wasn't a whole lot of pretty out of it. I can tell you that. I mean, so
Clowney
try not to remember a whole lot about it.
Is Clowney one of those guys you have to find help? Maybe for your tackles at times.
Well, I mean, I think you better know where he's at, and you got to account for him. There's no question on that. I think as you look at all their games through the course of the year, everybody's tried to do that, and he's done a good job fighting off 2 defenders. I mean, there's no question on that. He's done a really good job with that. And, again, I go back and I say it again over and over and over. But it's not necessarily who we play. It's how we play. And that's our focus. It has been all year long. It's not going to change this week. It's going to be it's about the Tigers, and it's about how we play and how we prepare and that's our biggest challenge to our guys, and you know, is to remain on that standard that we've set, that coaches set, and for this team. And you know, and we're excited about this opportunity. This is why you get in the business, for environments like this, and for games like this. And hey, we're excited, and we'll be ready to go Saturday night.
Chad, any job you take in football comes with a rival. Did anything about this rivalry open your eyes, surprise you? You know.
Well, you know, going into it last year, obviously being new to it a year ago, I mean, you know, just listening to everybody talk, everybody knows the significance of this game, and then being a part of it, and going there last year and playing, you know, you definitely understand, you have a better understanding since you've been through it a year. You know, this is a game that'll affect every household in this state, and even outside this state. You know, those that, so, you know, we all understand that. But again, you know, it's, I go back to it again and I say, you know, it's about how we play, and it's about how we prepare, and it's about how we perform, and for Saturday night. And hey, this is going to be a great opportunity.
Did you, during the offseason at all, let last year's result from this game affect you or game plan, simply because people talk about it all the time? I'm sure you hear from Clemson fans, hey, we got to beat South Carolina on a regular basis, whether it's February, May, June.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think with any rivalry game, you know, it's obviously someone's winning and someone's losing, and somebody's happy and somebody's not. And but you know, knowing the prior history, and over the last 3 years, you know, absolutely. I mean, you know, we're as disappointed and you know, and let down about the last year's performance as anybody. I mean, and so yeah, sure. I mean, you're out there and you go speak at functions, and yeah, there's no doubt about it. I mean, this is, again, it goes back. This affects and has you know, has results in everybody's household in this state. So, yeah.
What was the root of the pass protection issues last year against South Carolina? Was it, how much was it Philip Price? How much was it Boyd? How much was it?
Well, I think you had a quarterback that wasn't running the ball very effective. He was standing back there like a concrete deer statue. I mean, really. I mean, that's what he was. And he was hit early. He was hit in the latter part of the year, where he wasn't playing his best ball. And you know, he had lost his fundamentals. He had lost his technique, and wasn't moving as well. And therefore, he was just a sitting target. You know, I mean, I think there was breakdowns. It wasn't just one guy last year. There were several guys up front, and you know, so I mean, we went back and looked at that video. I mean, I'm not going to sit and cry about it right now. I mean, and you know, mope around because of last year's performance. That's behind us. I mean, we flipped it on. We looked at the way they lined up, and I mean, we've already you know, critiqued last year's team about it. I mean, it's time to move forward. So we looked at what they did and things that they did. They may cause us problems, but again, this is two different teams. If you're talking about a team of last year and a team of this year, it's two different teams. I mean, and next year you're going to be talking about another. It's going to be different than this year's team. So it's very unfair to compare this team to last year's team.
Chad,
Let me stop you just for a sec, Pete. Just so everyone knows, apparently they're testing the fire alarm in here at 11:45, which is in about 2 minutes. It's going to go off for 60 seconds or so.
and we shouldn't run.
No need to evacuate, but just to let you know, we'll start back once. Yeah, I mean, you can go ahead and start answering it, but just
that's what he said.
Don't panic when that
Yeah,
happens.
that's what I heard.
I was going to ask whether South Carolina's defense is, from what you've seen, is vastly different under Lorenzo Ward compared with Ellis.
I think there is. I think there is some difference. You know, they've got a different identity. Again, you know, last year, you know, they may not have played as much man as they have. I mean, they're not a big blitzing team. You know, they're gonna man you up. They're gonna play physical. That's what we've seen this year, as opposed to last year. I think it brought a little bit more pressure last year, but played a little bit more two safety look at times. But I mean, yeah, there's some differences in in what's going on defensively.
May I have your attention? May I have your attention, please? We will be testing the fire alarm system at this time. Please do not exit the building. This is only a test. Repeat, we are testing the fire alarm